Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 29th of January 2019. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then guys, let's quickly jump into the charts. Now the first one I'm going to touch on here is an index, and this is FTSE100. Now looking at this 4-hour chart here, you can see that today, this morning, when the FTSE opened up, it managed to skyrocket here to the upside, managed to break some key areas of resistance, one of the more important ones being the 6,800 level, and this is where it found its stop near the 50 EMA here, near the 6850 level. So since then it kind of slightly retraced back down. It's now currently trading slightly below the R2, but of course this is the scenario that we've posted here on TradingView, and this is basically how we are seeing it right now. So in a way, if this is gonna start pushing back up here, back above these this candle's close here, this previous 4-hour candle's close, then we could see potentially another push higher, and especially if we're going to get a nice pop above the 6860 levels. So basically this could be that gateway towards slightly higher levels, initially of course aiming for the 6915 level, but what we've got here is of course this downside resistance line that has been running here from the highest point of August last year. So in a way this could be that nice potential area for a target. Certainly we're not dragging it further up here because we want to see what's going to happen near this downside resistance line, because maybe the bulls could get held here, and if they fail to, let's say, drive the index above this line, above this downside resistance line, then well, this is where the bears could step in and potentially drive the index back down again. So for now guys, long story short, it did have a nice push higher here. This is where we're targeting here right now. This is what we're aiming for. We are aiming for another push above this R2, and if we do see something like that, that's great. We'll target the 6,860 level, but again, for those who are more on the cautious side, you could in a way wait until this the price gets above this level here and then aim for higher levels. That's why we do have a tight stop loss here, just around these support here near the 6,800 level. So basically, if this drops below the 6,800 level, well, I mean, probably the upside could be slightly off the table. We could maybe then target lower levels like the 6,735 mark here by the low of yesterday, or even actually if that doesn't hold, further declines are possible as well. But again, for now, this seems to be more bullish than bearish. But again, let's see how this plays out. Jumping into platinum now, this one is, well, basically it's retracing now slightly after having a nice push higher this morning, and it found its resistance around here, around this level right here, around the 819 mark. So this is where we're going to keep on monitoring. A nice good push above this level could open the path towards higher levels. Of course, this is where we will then target this little high that we saw here back on the 11th of January, and that was approximately around the 825 zone. But if that doesn't hold, further upside is possible. But then again, like I said, for now guys, probably it's better to kind of remain careful here, because if this is going to form something like a double top here, and this is going to continue driving for lower and we start breaking the potential neckline, which would be around the 808 zone, then yep, we could basically see some further declines, and certainly this is where let me just get rid of this arrow basically, guys. So if this continues to drive lower here, then yep, further declines could be possible. We could then target the psychological 800 level again. So in a way, for now, probably it's better to kind of wait this one out and wait until either is going to drop towards the 808 level and see what it wants to do here, or actually wait until we see a reversal, confirmed reversal here, and a move back towards the 819 level. Now this time, if the 819 level fails to withhold the bulls down, then yep, we could see a push higher here, and then we will target the 825 zone, or even higher. But for now, guys, just continue observing this one, keep on monitoring. It's very interesting, and let's see how this plays out later on. Jumping into another pair here, and that's AUDNZD. Now this is a very tricky one at the same time, very interesting pair. So overall, of course, we're traveling lower, we are trading below this downside resistance line here, and of course we are not far from this very key area of support here near the 1.0440, and just about 10 pips lower, the 1.0430 mark. So of course this is the area we're going to be keeping a close eye on, because if this decides to drop below this, now of course this could open the path towards much lower levels. And if we jump into a daily chart on this one, guys, so you can see that for quite a while we haven't been in this area for quite a while here, and the last time we've been here was in 2017 around June time. So of course the strong potential area of support, the next one of course could be around the 1.04 level, but if that fails to withhold, we could go all the way towards the lows that we saw here in June, so the lowest point of June, and that was approximately, let me just put this on the chart here quickly, and that was approximately around the 1.0365 zone, something like that, just so we can round it up towards a nice number. And basically you could keep an eye on that one, but again, I'll repeat myself, in order to kind of consider those much lower levels, we need to see a nice, good, strong confirmed break here below this area of support between the 1.0430 and the 1.0440 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. If this provides a good bouncing ground for the pair, if this kind of acts as a nice bouncing ground for the pair, we could see this one traveling maybe back up here. But then again, in order to kind of consider higher levels, let me just jump back into the 4-hour chart. You could in a way wait until this would travel, let's say, above this little high here that we saw here back on the 27th of January, and that was approximately around the 1.0510. And this way, of course, we will target the next possible area just about 20 pips higher, but nevertheless quite an important one. As you can see back here on the 14th of January, it acted as a very nice area of support. So this time it could take the role of being a nice area of resistance. But if this fails to withstand the bull pressure, then yep, further acceleration to the upside, maybe even actually going all the way here and testing this downside resistance line, this long-term downside resistance line, and then yep, could take it from there, see what it wants to do there. But for now, guys, of course, all eyes, because we're not far from this key support area here that I've just mentioned. Keep your eyes on that one. If we do get sudden breaks here lower, then yep, this could turn out to be quite ugly for the pair. And of course, don't forget that we do have the Australian CPI figures coming out, coming out tonight. So actually it's just slightly maybe after midnight GMT time, and of course keep an eye on that one, because it will be very interesting to see what's going to happen here. Jumping into AUDUSD, which also could get affected here, and this is where we're going to keep an eye on it. And of course, at the moment you can see that the pair is trading slightly below the pivot. It did try to move lower yesterday here, but today it's kind of stuck here and trading nowhere, and of course just slightly trading slightly above this key, well, an obstacle, let's put it that way, the 0.7160 level. So keep your eyes on that one. It's currently kind of acting as a good area of support. In order for us, let's say, to start looking at higher levels, certainly if today we will get a nice push higher and then we get a break above the pivot here, then certainly, yep, we will start targeting slightly higher levels, like for example the yesterday's high near the 0.7205 level. But if that fails to withhold, then yep, further acceleration to the upside towards this downside resistance line. Let me just kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So in a way, somebody could say maybe it's a bit of a tentative one, but this is the downside resistance line that has been running here from the highs of January 2018. So could be a good potential test here, but then again, like I said, for us to kind of consider that, initially we need to see a nice pop above the pivot here around the 0.7175 level, but then of course a confirmation break above the 0.7205. This could confirm a forthcoming higher high here, and of course a higher high since this reversal of the 24th of January, and then like I said, we could then target this level right here. But for now, guys, certainly, long story short, this is what the scenario that I was talking about the for the upside. On the downside, if this drops below the 0.7160 level and travels further down below yesterday's lows, which were around here, let me just put that around the 0.7135. Now this is where it could become a little bit more messy for this pair. We could see maybe a further slide lower here towards the 0.7115, which was the inside swing low, inside swing high here of the 24th of January. So you could in a way keep your eyes on that one, but for, let's say, to start examining much lower levels in the near term, we would need to wait until this drops below the 0.7080 level approximately here, and only then we will target much lower levels, even going towards maybe the psychological 0.70 level. So for now guys, very carefully observe this pair. Watch out for the 0.7175 here on the upside. A nice good pop above this could lead towards the 0.7205, and if that fails, then yep, further acceleration to the upside could be possible. So keep your eyes on that one. Jumping into GBPCAD and now, for this one, let me just bear with me, guys. So for this one here, very interesting developments happening right now. So overall, of course, looking at this 4-hour chart, you can see that it continues to climb higher, and it continues to climb higher above this upside support line taken from the lows of the 11th of January. And of course, for now, this is where it's also we can also draw this little tentative, in a way, upside support line here. And what we are seeing, a formation that we're seeing here right now, is a nice pennant formation. So these tend to be bullish here if the flag was if we do have an strong upside move before that. So in a way, you could consider a possible move higher here. The only thing is that well, we do have sometimes surprises here, and we do see sometimes these breaking to the downside. So that's why be very cautious, and especially given this particular picture, in a way, you could see maybe a drop lower here, a break below this lower side of the triangle here, and maybe a drop further down, but then a hold up near this upside support line, which could provide some support, good support, and act as a nice bouncing ground. And then the price could, the rate could reverse and push back up again. So we did have scenarios like that as well. So in a way, where we're gonna probably get rid of this right now, just for the sake of it, and just probably continue observing some key support and resistance areas. So on the downside here, the 1.7370 level, this is where we're going to keep on monitoring, because if this upside support line breaks, it would probably also place the pair below this level here, below the 1.7370, and then of course it could open the path towards much lower levels here. But if this decides to push further up here and we start breaking this little area here, this little potential area of resistance around the 1.75 zone. Now this is where it could become more exciting for the bulls, and we could see the pair maybe getting lifted towards the 175.55 zone. And just to kind of show you what that level was here in the past, so the 175.55 acted as a nice area of support and both resistance. Let me just kind of drag this chart a little bit here, and you can see that on the 27th of June it acted as a nice intraday swing high here on the 27th of June last year, and also acted as a nice good support on the 26th of June. So quite an interesting level this one is, this 175.55, and keep your eyes on down if we get a nice pop above the 1.75 level. So, and the last pair I wanted to quickly touch on, and that's NZDJPY. Now you can see probably from the chart straight away what's happening here. We are having this kind of coiling up situation right now, so it is a bit of a badly shaped triangle, I would say, but nevertheless I would probably say it's just stuck here between these two support lines. Now I'm not drawing the line here from this low, because as you can remember, this was the 2nd of January flash crash that we had, and so that's why it's this level here. It's a bit tentative, and different platforms suggest different levels here. So that's why we're going to take it from here and just draw this one, taking this line from the 3rd of January here, and you can see that the pair is currently stuck here, even though yes, it is trading above the pivot today, but still kind of the hold up is here near this downside resistance line taken from the highs of the 4th of December. So in a way, you probably now guessed it and understood that we're going to wait until this gets a nice pop, either through the upper side here, either through this downside resistance line, or through this upside support line. So in a way, also for a better confirmation, you could in a way keep an eye on the 75.15 level. This pop above that level could open the path towards the 75.50, or even actually going slightly higher here towards this little potential area of resistance around the 75.85 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. Very interesting developments here, but again, like I said, for the upside, that's what we need to wait for, the 75.15 level. On the downside, well, I mean, you could in a way start looking at the possible move lower if we get a break here below this upside support line, but for a better confirmation, you could in a way keep your eyes on this little area of support near the 73.95 level. So a nice good drop below this. This was, by the way, the low of the 24th of January, and a drop below this level here could open the path towards slightly lower levels here. We do have some good potential areas of support, right, like for example the 73.20, or even actually going lower. But of course, for now, until it's kind of coiling up here, let's see what it wants to do. Let's see how this performs, and yep, maybe we can squeeze something out of it. Okay guys, I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget that tonight we do have the UK Parliament vote on Brexit, and on a few amendments of it, of course. So yep, be very careful for those. Be very careful those who are trading the British pound. And yep, I'll see you tomorrow, guys, on my Traders Espresso, and that's 7 o'clock GMT time. But for now, thank you very much, and bye bye.